Okay. On the other case, let's say if we want to load only data, what has changed from yesterday to today in the destination, then it is more like an incremental load. You would not take the whole million records from the source and write it onto destination, right? So instead, whatever has changed from yesterday to today, and the source system will be moved on to the destination system, because we were equal at yesterday's point at source to destination, right? So that is how we will do an incremental load. Okay, that is more like an incremental load is how it performs. So I want to show you the concept of pretty much like an incremental loading in using a lookup transformation. So what I have done is I have this source system where I have almost like 19,000 rows in the destination system. Probably you could say the destination system or the lookups reference system, where I have this almost like 100 or 200 rows. So what would happen is whatever is matching will come onto the left side using a match lookup, more like a match output. Whatever is not matching would come onto the right side. So that was my example from yesterday. So let's execute it. So you can ask me any questions if you have. If not, we'll continue from there. Okay. So these are all my rows. They are moved into the lookup transformation. It is more like a matching criteria. It does the matches and see whether there are any matches or not. If it has a matches, it will send it to a match output. If there is no matches, it will send it to a no match output. More like if you see from here, the matching criteria is more like a business entity ID, what I have used. Okay. Give it a try. You would understand it better from there. Okay. Look up. So next transformation. Okay, so for instance, I'll take a no. Okay. I'll take two of the same sources. Copy, paste. Okay, in this source, instead of taking from a table, I'll write a SQL command saying select. Okay, I'll try to write the select statement better using a management studio, which I'm comfortable with. Okay, I can show you the query here. So select star from. Okay, now I'll remove the star and write a column. This is entity ID, comma, first name, comma, last name, comma, email promotion, and where email promotion equal to 1. Okay. Using this select statement, what I'm getting is all the email promotions whose all the records whose email promotion is 1, right? So I'll grab that query and paste it over here. Okay. Now if I preview or say okay from the column side, I should see all those 4 columns here. Okay, this is going to be one of my source. In the same way, I would consider another source. This could be the same server or a different server in total. So the concept we're going to learn here is called merge concept. What is this merge? Merge is kind of union from T-SQL. Okay, so it takes 2 inputs and uses a merge transformation to merge the data into one result set. just like a union T-SQL. If you have ever remembered it, if you remembered it, in fact, that means if you're using merge or intersect or an union all. Not the merge, but the union all intersect except from a T-SQL, you should have the same column structure, same number of columns from both the result set, with that which will be combined into one result set, right? So that is a true example for the merge here too. Okay, let's paste it here. Instead of 1, I'll set 2. Okay, these are all the matches. Okay, so before we do merge, we have to use sort transformations. Okay, in the sort transformations, what are we doing is we're sorting all the data in this order: business entity ID, then the first name, then the last name, and the email promotion. We did the same with this one too. Okay, that is our sorting order. Now using this sorted input, this is let's consider this as an input 1. Okay, we'll say that as a sorted output, and this is from the left input 1, and whereas this one is going to be input 2. Okay, and for row visibility, you could either write it back onto a flat file. Okay, yeah, let's write it in a flat file so we could see it out too. Okay, let's say new connection. This is going to be a delimited file. That's fine, and I'm going to browse it. Say as merge file. Okay. Columns, this is what is mapping columns. Okay. Mapping, everything is mapping fine. So that's it. So let's run it. So if we run this package, what should happen is the data from the two source tables has to be merged and put into one single flat file. So let's see the file here. Just a second. Okay, there you go. Here is your file. It doesn't have the headers. That's one bad thing I did. So let's do one thing. Delete it. Close it back again. Don't save. Stop it. Reopen it. I have to edit this connection. Have the column names in the top. Okay. In fact, let's do one thing. Go delete this off. Delete this off. I also deleted the file back there. Okay. So let's take again a flat file destination. Now I'm going to take this flat file destination here. New, delimited, browse, merge, have the column names, okay, that's it to do it, mapping, and fine. Okay, let's go back and run it again. Okay, there is our merge text file. Okay, you can see that all the columns from the both inputs has come here with the email promotion 1 and 2 with the merge itself. So let's see how many rows has transferred. From here, it was almost like 5,000 rows transferring it, and this was almost like 3,700 some rows. If you add it all, they match together, right? 0 is 4, and 7, 4, 11. 1 is 1 added, 8, and 5 is 8. Perfect. The row count is also matching. That means there is no duplication or anything happening in that, and they have done a good job on that particular aspect. Okay. Let's also see, because I want to show a little bit of more advanced concept on merge merge to. Let's say if I merge, okay, I'll take one more data flow here. Okay, in this time, one of my source would be SQL source, OLDB source, which I could write a SQL. Let's say if I write a SQL, I'll say email permission is equal to 0. Okay, I already matched up the columns. That's fine. Next source would be a flat file source. Let's assume. Now I'm taking it from a different source. Let's preview the data. Yeah, this is the source what I was talking about. Okay, so no. Zeros, ones, and twos. No, not this one. Then ones and twos. Yeah. So this is a file. I'll map the columns. But perfect. So now, in the previous example, before even getting onto the merge, I was using the sort transformations. Okay, but in practicality, when you're building up an ETL solutions or building packages in SSIS, people tend to avoid sorts because those are expensive. Even in a TCL, if you are trying to write an order by, what will happen is it will reorder the data before it presents it to the screen. It reorders the data. So that is a little bit of a hectic on processor side and everybody's side. So whereas if you don't really have to order it, you don't really have to, right? You order it, then the front application guys would order it. Then it's too much of a reordering things and in those fashions. So if it's need to be done, you can do it. But if it's not needed, we have another alternative way, because this merge things, it needs an only what do you call it, sorted format. So what I can do is I can go back, right click on it, and say go on to advanced properties. In the output and input properties, on the output column side, I could say that this is already sorted, is sorted property to true. Okay, and I would give a business entity ID sort position as 1. Okay, I'll do the same thing with the flat file source too. Okay, sorted. Yes, it is already sorted. Business entity ID sort key position 1. Margin input 1. Okay. Then you could use a destination instance to write it back into a training database. That's okay. You'll use an OLDB destination, map it back, open it up, new query. Merge underscore person. Map it. So before we go further, you also need to learn few things here. While inserting the data, we have two or three methods in here. That is like a fast load, the regular table or view. You can also do it from a variable and or a SQL command. If you want to insert using a SQL command, you can write insert statement and all. Okay, that's also options here. Whereas on the source side, I showed you that we can write a SQL command, right? I'm also showing you that from a destination standpoint, you could also write a SQL command. I'll teach you about the variables and those things later. But yeah, fast load is always better because it does in a BCP fashion, bulk insert and bulk copy fashion, which will help it to insert it faster. Okay. Whereas check constraints and table locks, if you do select it, so that means the data which if you remember, we spoke about constraints too, right? A foreign key constraint, a default constraint, not null constraints, all those things will be checked if you have checked the check constraint options. If you do not want to check it, you could uncheck it and run it. Then those will be eliminated for now. Okay, so matching is done. So let's go back and say run this one. Between then, I'll pull up my management studio. Okay. Oh, it is already moved to success. So here is my training database. In the tables, I should see merge underscore person table. This is my table. So let's select top 1000. Okay, there you go. So that's my rows up there. I can pull it up to full screen. Here, you can see I chose the top 1000 rows, and those are all my rows from this table. That's good, right? Yeah. Let me know if you have any questions.
అన్న ఇప్పుడు మనము మెర్జ్ ఇప్పుడు ఈమెయిల్ ప్రమోషన్ 0, ఈమెయిల్ ప్రమోషన్ 1, ఈమెయిల్ ప్రమోషన్ 2 ఇట్లా 3 సోర్సెస్ తీసుకొని మెర్జ్ చేయొచ్చా, లేదా రెండే
తీసుకొని మర్జ్ చేయొచ్చు. ఇక్కడ you could see it from the icon itself. In fact, from the icon you cannot see it or you cannot understand, but merge only takes 2 inputs. Okay. So if you have to do it from multiple sources, then you will have a union all.
Okay.
Okay. So same concept from merge to merge. Union all. Union all will take multiple inputs and write it into one output.
Okay.
Okay. And the second good thing about the union all is it doesn't need a sorted input. Okay. Whereas a merge would definitely need a sorted input. Okay. Either you use a sort transformation just like what we have done from an original thing. Okay. Or you could use an advanced method like right clicking on that every data source and going into advanced properties, making their properties like e-sorted properties true and all, right? Which we have shown here. Like you would make it e-sorted, and then you would give one of the column which you want to map it on. You would give the sort key position one. So basically, whereas if you're trying to do the same thing with the union all, you would not need any of those things to be done, because it doesn't expect data to be sorted out before it has it, right? So that's a very good thing about the union all.
ఓకే, ఇప్పుడు మనము ఆ సోర్స్ తీసుకున్నప్పుడు సోర్స్ లో మనము ఈమెయిల్ ప్రమోషన్ 0 అనేది తీసుకున్నాము కదా, మళ్ళీ దానికి డేటా సార్ట్ చేయాల్సిన అవసరం ఉంది.
So you're pretty much talking about the merge, right?
Merge గురించి అన్న.
Okay, merge by component definition itself, it needs a sorted input. Okay, even though you select the email promotion 0, your business entity ID could not be might not be in a sorted format. Okay, now we are seeing it as a sorted way, but let's assume that the data comes like a 21, then 1, then 30, then 3. If it's jumbled across. Okay. At that point, the merge would say, I need a sorted data through which I can perform better. That is what is her idea is. Or the component's idea is. Okay, but yeah, it's a Microsoft design. It's not me, or it's not you, or it's not anybody. By default, they said that merge, if you want to work with merge, you have to sort your input before. If not, just bluff it saying data is already sorted.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay. Next concept. Let's talk about. Okay. Let me do one thing. Okay. We will talk about merge join here. Okay. So from the source assistant, let's say would go into AdventureWorks database, select up. So from here, I'll say person by person table. Okay. Business entity ID, first name, last name, and email promotion. Okay. I'm also going to use one more source assistant. Even that is going to be SQL Server AdventureWorks. Okay. In here, what I'm going to choose is person phone is what my table. Okay. Out of here, I would say business entity ID and the phone number. Okay, that is those are the two columns what I need. Okay, using that and a merge join. Okay, same lies with the merge join. If you have to use a merge join, you have to sort the data out. Okay, either you do it in a sorted fashion, or you could go into advanced properties. Let's do one this way and one other way. Okay, so I'll move this here. So I'll share get the data to this point, and then I'll say these are the components which you would do. Should say both of it. Okay, then I'll go right click on this one, go on to the advanced editor, get back here. I'll say each sorted property is true, and from the output columns, I'll give the business entity ID, sort position as 1, sort queue position as 1. Okay, both of these would go to the merge join as an input. I'll say this as a left input, and whereas this as a right input. What does merge join do is equivalent to what happens in a join statement from a T-SQL. You could have a left join, right join, or an inner join, or a full outer join. Those are the joins, right? That would be similar to this case. So in this particular case, what I'm trying to do is I'll do an inner join as an example. So I would get a first name, last name, and the email promotion, and their phone number. That's what I want as an output. Okay. I would write it back to an to a Flatpak. New connection, and this is going to be a delimited file. Let's browse for it, and I'll say merge. Let's call it join.txt. Okay, first column names and columns. Okay, mapping will be done. Okay, so let's go run this task, or you can just execute from here. Okay, everything went to success. So let's open up the folder, merge join. Okay. So from the business entity, from the person table, these are the first 3 rows is what first 3 columns is what you get from the person table, whereas the right side email promotions phone number, not the email promotion phone number, but the person phone number, you would get it from the person phone phone table, right? So this is his phone number, this is his phone number. You have all guys' phone number associated with it. Okay, you could see that the rows are quite matching. That means everybody has a phone there. Okay, let's assume the basic principle of inner join is it will match with whatever has a match from the right table, right? So left table, what has a match from the right table will be matched up in the subset of the information which has common in both of the tables. Right? Any questions?
No, no.
Okay. So merge join. So let's take an order. Okay. Next is multicast. Okay. Let's say from the adventure works table. Let's assume from percent table, that is the table what I'm going to choose, and here for the same 4 columns, right? So next component is multicast. Before we go and implement it, let's talk about multicasting. What does multicast do is it will take one input and split it into multiple outputs. Okay, that means it doesn't have a condition like condition split. Okay, what was the condition split property? It will take one input and based on condition, it will split it into respective outputs, right? If you remember from our yesterday's class. Okay, so it doesn't have any conditions. So that means, let's say a 10 row input comes into a multicast. 10 rows would be split onto the output 1, output 2, output 3, output n. Okay, it will make the number of copies of output. Same exact copies. Okay, you may also get confused with the balanced data distributor. Okay, in case of balanced data distributor, it is not the case. In case of a balanced data distributor, what would happen is, let's say you send 10 rows in, it will give 2 rows out to the first output, 2 rows to the second output, 3 rows to the fourth output, so on. It will share it across the balance fully across multiple outputs. Whereas in condition split, if you send 10 rows in the input, it will based on the condition, it will send it to the respective output. If neither of the conditions would match, it will send it on default output. Whereas a multicast, if you send 10 rows input, it'll copy those 10 rows, make multiple copies of output. Same exact 10 rows, multiple outputs. Okay, that is multicast. Okay, so let's see an example here. We have 19,000 rows in here. We're using multicast. Let's break into 3 short components. Okay, 1 here, 2, 3. Just to show the data, that is why I'm using this sort transformation. Okay, I would go ahead and enable a data viewer in here. Okay, let's go run this task. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Multicast output 1, 2, and 3. You could see same rows, multiple copies. That's it. Okay, if we close it, it will move on to the success. Let's say, let's go close 1, so that this one moves to success. Okay, again and again. Okay, so you see the same number of rows have been moved on to the 3 different parts. So that's about multicast.
దానికి డెస్టినేషన్ మనం ఏదైనా ఇచ్చుకోవచ్చా మల్టీకాస్ట్ లో? ఇప్పుడు మీరు జస్ట్ సార్ట్ చేసి
sort చేసి నేను అవుట్పుట్ చూపిస్తున్నా. Let's say if you don't want to use a sort, as I said earlier, it's just 3 copies of data. All right, I could go and use an destination assistant, write it into a training database. So I can say out1, out 2. Okay, you may get a doubt saying, okay, why is Sandeep using only out 1 and out 2 and out 3 and out 4, out 5, so on, right? So I'll also do the same thing. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Okay, let's do an out 3. Right? If you write it as the same table, what would happen is it will create duplicate rows, right? You understand that right?
Yes, sir.
So you could just run this. Go back here. Yeah, you can stay here. Run this package. Okay. So for your understanding, what I'm also trying to say here is data is weight. If you have the data, same copy of data multiple times, your disk space will be shrinking, right? That will use your disk space. For that particular reason is why I usually try to explain things with the sort operation, because from the sort operation you would not write it anywhere, neither onto flat file, neither onto database. From this aspect, what would happen is it will write up onto disk space. I may not have a disk space all the time, right?
Yeah.
So for that reason, I'm trying to use sort operations if I have to explain something. Okay, but whenever I use a sort operation, unless until I'm really sorting the data, I could write it into any format. You could write it into Excel, flat file, or in a database, or in a raw file, any of those formats. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. So let's look into one more component. SSIS looks easy, right?
Yeah, it's very easy queue operations.
Okay, very easy. That's good if you feel so. Okay.
The only one thing is we have to know what is the command and what command we use for this tasks.
Let's see the source assistant from a training database. Okay, so in the training database, I'm going to use I could use any table. Let's use an merge phone table. Okay, all the columns will be selected. Merge person table. Okay, that has 2 or 3 rows, whatever it is. Okay, so from there, what I'm trying to do, no, okay, let's do one thing. Let's delete this stuff. Okay, I'll go to the source assistance. I'll take a flat file. I don't know which flat file is it. Probably this one. Let's preview the data, which will get me clarity. Okay, so here I have the first name, last name, email promotion, and phone number. That's good. Okay, I'll take this information. Okay, in here we'll talk about OData source later, but for now we'll go back into OLDB command. Okay, with the OLDB command, what would happen is it will act as a transformation component here. When you supply a certain source is nothing but a set of data, right? You would have certain number of columns, certain number of rows in there. So when you supply it to the OLDB command, you could write command in there. Okay, for this aspect, what I'm trying to do is I'm going to connect to a certain source. It need not be an SQL server. You can connect to an Oracle, or you can connect to an any ADO.NET connection, but OLDB is better. Okay, so I'll try to connect to AdventureWorks. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'll write a command. Okay, in fact, I'll use a different source. Trading and so collection. In here, what I'm going to write is I'll pull up my SQL server first. Okay. In the trading table, trading database, I want a table called a phone table. New table. Okay. First name. Worker of 15. Worker of 50. One number. At Jimbo. Worker 50. Let's assume these are the
9 did VAR.
Okay, let's save this table as the name of person underscore phone. So we are saving this table in a training database. Okay. So from here, what I'm going to do is insert into. This is an example. Just an example. I could write it in a better fashion. Let's say we have this table, right? We have this person phone number table in here. Okay. Whereas from the Excel source, we are getting the data. What does OLDB command does is it will run for every single record we have sent it. Whether you want to run it through a function, or you could run it through an store procedure or anything like that, it will capture whatever was output and send it back to you. So that was an OLDB command operation. So I'll do a simple operation saying based on row I get, I'll add few information here and there, and I'll send it out. Okay. Usually, why does I use it in a real time is if I have to execute a store procedure with the parameters what I'm getting in a table one by one, then I'll use this as an example. I would use OLDB command in that particular transformation. Okay, does it make sense? Ramakrishna, okay. Here, what does OLDB command does is, let's say you are getting 2,000 rows or 20,000 rows from the source. Okay, it will take one by one row and operate it on the OLDB command. Okay, OLDB command is where you can write your T-SQL. Okay. Let's say that row has a first name, last name, and the email, promotion, and phone number, and you want to insert into a table, you could write it.
Okay.
But I don't want to write it because you guys may get confused with an OLDB destination, right? Because it's too early for you while you're learning it. Understood? Okay. Source లో ఒక రో రావచ్చు 10 రోలు రావచ్చు, రైట్? సోర్స్ నుంచి వచ్చిన రోస్ ని ఓఎల్డిబి కమాండ్ కి ఇస్తే అది ఒక్కొక్క రోని ప్రాసెస్ చేస్తుంది. ఆ ఒక్క రోలో నువ్వు దేశం పేరు ఇచ్చి కరెన్సీ కనుక్కోమంటే ఫంక్షన్ యూజెస్ కనుక్కుంటుంది. ఓఎల్డిబి లోపల ఫంక్షన్స్ రాయొచ్చు కదా మనం. ఫంక్షన్ రాయడం కాదు, కాల్ చేయొచ్చు. మీరు టీసీక్వల్ లో ఉన్న ఫంక్షన్ స్టోర్ ప్రొసీజర్ లో కాల్ చేయొచ్చు పారామీటర్స్ కింద ఇచ్చి. ఓకే, లేకపోతే ఇన్సర్ట్ కమాండ్ రాసి వేరే టేబుల్లో ఇన్సర్ట్ చేయొచ్చు నువ్వు.
ఇన్సర్ట్ టేబుల్, ఇన్సర్ట్ ఇంటూ.
కానీ నేను ఇన్సర్ట్ ఎందుకు రాయట్లేదు అంటే, నేను ఇప్పుడు ఇన్సర్ట్ రాసింది అనుకో, నువ్వు నెక్స్ట్ క్వశ్చన్ నన్ను అడిగేది ఏముంటది, మరి ఆయనతో మాత్రానికి ఓఎల్డిబి డెస్టినేషన్ ఎందుకు అని అడుగుతావు, రైట్? సో ఇక్కడ సౌకర్యం ఉంది కానీ, బట్ ఓఎల్డిబి డెస్టినేషన్ రాస్తే ఫాస్ట్ అవుతుంది. ఓకే, ఇక్కడ సౌకర్యం ఉంది కమాండ్ రాసుకోవడానికి. ఇది ఈ పర్పస్ కాకుండా, ఇన్సర్ట్ కే కాకుండా, యూ కెన్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ ఏ స్టోర్ ప్రొసీజర్ ఆర్ యూ కెన్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ ఏ ఫంక్షన్ ఫ్రమ్ హియర్ యూజింగ్ దోస్ ఇన్పుట్ పారామీటర్స్.
ఓకే, సో మనము ఈ ఓఎల్డిబి ద్వారా మనము ఇన్సర్ట్ చేయొచ్చు, స్టోర్ ప్రొసీజర్స్ ని, ఫంక్షన్స్ ని కాల్ చేయొచ్చు, ఆ ఫ్లాట్ ఫైల్ లో డేటాని యూజ్ చేసుకొని.
అవును, యా.
ఓకే, అర్థమైంది.
నేను ఇప్పుడు ఎగ్జాంపుల్ కోసం సింపుల్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చెప్పాలా, కాంప్లికేటెడ్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చెప్పాలా అని ఆలోచిస్తాను. నీకు ఏదైతే అర్థమవుతుంది, ఏది ఈజీగా ఉంటుంది అని ఆలోచిస్తున్నా. సో బట్ నేను ఇప్పుడు సింపుల్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇన్సర్ట్ కమాండ్ చెప్పింది అనుకో, మీ ఐడియా ఎట్లా వచ్చేస్తుంది? సో ఓకే, హీఈస్ జస్ట్ ట్రైంగ్ టు యూజ్ అన్ ఇన్సర్ట్ స్టేట్మెంట్ టు ఇట్ అంటారు కదా. రైట్?
ఓకే, ఇప్పుడు ఇందాక మీరు ఒక టేబుల్ క్రియేట్ చేశారు కదా ట్రైనింగ్ లో. ఇప్పుడు ఫ్లాట్ ఫైల్ సోర్స్ లో మన దగ్గర డేటా ఉంది.
Yes, flat file source లో data ఉంది. Okay, what I am going to do is training. Okay, here I am going to write an insert command.
Okay.
Insert into dbo dot, what was my table name? Person underscore phone was my table name. Right? Cut it. Go back here. Okay, I have two dbos. Let's remove it. Okay. Okay. One more quick thing. What do I have here? Person dot phone columns ఏమి ఉన్నాయి? ఫస్ట్ నేమ్, లాస్ట్ నేమ్, ఫోన్ నెంబర్, బిజినెస్ ఎంటిటీ ఐడి లేదు. ఓకే, సో నాకు సోర్స్ నుంచి వచ్చినప్పుడు అట్లా రావాలి. వాల్యూస్, ఓకే, బ్రాకెట్ ఓపెన్, బ్రాకెట్ క్లోజ్, క్వశ్చన్ మార్క్స్, 1 2 3 ఇన్పుట్స్ వస్తున్నాయి. ఓకే, మ్యాపింగ్ లోకి వెళ్తా. ఈ 3 ఇన్పుట్స్ ఏంటి? ఫస్ట్ ది ఫస్ట్ నేమ్, సెకండ్ ది లాస్ట్ నేమ్, థర్డ్ ది ఈమెయిల్, నో నాట్ ది ఈమెయిల్ ప్రమోషన్ బట్ ద ఫోన్ నెంబర్. సో ఇది ఇంతే. ఓకే కొట్టను. ఓకే, ఫస్ట్ నేమ్ parameter cannot convert from Unicode to non-Unicode. Okay, there is a problem in here. I have to use a data conversion task here because you can see that it is saying the data is already in the Unicode format and it needs to be converted into non-Unicode format. Okay, యూనికోడ్ నాన్ యూనికోడ్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఎక్కడ వచ్చాయంటే, మనం ఇక్కడ var డిఫైన్ చేసినాం, రైట్? వేరాజ్ ఇక్కడ డేటా వచ్చి nvar ఉంది. ఓకే, మీకు అర్థం కాకపోవచ్చు ఈ ఫార్మాట్ లో యూనికోడ్ అని ఉంటుంది ఇక్కడ, బట్ దిస్ ఇస్ మోర్ లైక్ nvar ఫార్మాట్. ఓకే, యా, either go use a data conversion task to convert the data, or you could just go back and change the table name, change the table properties from there. So let me do this way because I think this way it'll give you more practice. First name, last name, phone number, those are the 3 things what we were using in there. So from an Unicode to what I have to convert to a non-Unicode string. Where is this non-Unicode string? Do I have it? I should. Okay, DT string is it. At the same time, this is also DT string. This is gonna be DT string. Okay. And now if I provide this one, and in the column mapping, instead of first name, I should say copy of first name. Instead of last name, I should say this one, this one. Okay. Even then, there is a phone number. Okay. Phone number. What was the input? Okay. This one is nvarchar to car. So I should not even. You can see it, right?
Yeah,
two of them were varchar, and third one was nvarchar. All right. So I have to go back and change that one too. Okay. Give me a quick second. Let me expand this. No, I cannot take this, so I have to. Okay. If you ever get this this error kind of thing on a pipeline, you can right click and say resolve references. It should automatically pop this screen. Whatever was the error, you could remove it. So this is the destination. Say delete unmapped outputs. Okay, it will go away. Okay. From an OLDB command perspective, you are mapping back to last name, and this is being mapped by phone number itself. Okay. So now it is good. So if I run this statement if I run this, what will happen is it will insert row by row basis onto the table. You see, this is so slow compared to an OLDB destination, right?
Because it's doing row by row, right?
Yes, because it is doing row by row operations, it is slow. Okay, why do you want to do it a row by row when you have to execute a store procedure with the given parameters in a table format? You want to send it a one by one row by row level. Then you could use an OLDB command operation. Okay. Yeah, it is getting done. Almost there. 200 more to go. Okay. So what? Yeah. In the meanwhile, while it runs, I could also try to make up an example with an SQL store procedure or anything like that. Let me do that. Yeah, it succeeded. Okay. Basically, okay, I'll show it in a tomorrow's class or probably. Okay, what I need is pretty much like when you send two input parameters, it has to send you an output parameter or some kind of function or something like that. I could use that one. Okay, or okay. So you have first name, last name, and phone number, right? So let's create a function. Okay. This function would return something as an output, and then we'll use that function or store procedure. Okay, let's create a store procedure because store procedures are easier to compare to functions, right? So let's go create a new query. So what I want to do is create procedure dbo dot sp return phone type. Okay, I'll take phone number as an input. Okay, I'll take phone number as an input. I know it is a varchar from here. Yeah, that's fine. I'll take a varchar as an input. Phone number, varchar of 50 as an input. Then what I'm going to do is I'll find out where what type of cell phone is it. Okay, so select start from person dot person phone. Okay, we are also changing the server to database to. So this is going to be AdventureWorks 2017 dot person dot person phone. In person phone inner join AdventureWorks dot person dot person phone number type on. Let's say this is PP and this one we say PP type person phone type. PP dot person phone number type equals to PP type not phone number type. Okay, now here PP dot name where PP dot phone number equals to phone number. Okay, and okay, that's a store procedure. Let's say if you give this particular store procedure an input of a phone number, right? We have it from here. You can go get a phone number from here. Let's assume this is the phone number I chose. If I give that as an input, it has to give me whether it is cell phone, landline, or a home phone. So it is returning me that it is a cell phone. Okay, I have to take only top one. I cannot have multiple rows as an output. So I have to alter it. Okay, cell phone. So that's a successful example where I could execute it and send it as an output. Okay, I'll go and use that particular thing as an example, right? Before I do that, I have to define it as an output parameter so that it knows where it is going to go out as an input error. So output, no, this is an input parameter. I have to say that iterate name, which is again let's say varchar of 10 size is going to be an output. Okay, so it knows when I send it in and it comes out. Okay, so let's do the same example. This one was called OLDB command, right? OLEDB command. Okay, now let's disable this one. Go fresh. Okay, take this one. Same old concepts. source assistant will take a training database. That is where we have all of it. So from here, I have my person phone table where I'll get 3 columns mapping. Okay, and then I'll take the OLDB command. Now in stop and select statement, I will execute my store procedure. In here, this is going to be training again, and my command is going to be a little bit different this time. So this is going to be exec my store procedure name, that is dbo dot
phone number
return phone type. Okay, and my input parameter would be a question mark. Right now, if I say okay, and the columns, I have to send my input phone number mapping. So it also have to be an output parameter. I have to do something different. Okay, I can. Looks like I have to send a question mark out here too. Okay, question mark out here and equal to sign. Should get me that, right? Probably yes. Okay, this is my return type. Okay, returns value, return value. Okay, so I have an input value and I would get an output value. So I know what it's gonna be. Okay, so I'm gonna say okay. Probably still an error, right? Parameters are not bounded. All parameters are equal. Bonded to an input. I did bond them, but this is ignore. Now, this is going to be my return value, right? I cannot bond this one to something. How would I bond it? So okay. I have to say column extra. You know what? I am going to rewrite the rewrite in last name. Still, no, it cannot rewrite it, right? No, conversion issue now. It's conversion issue because my output is a format of what? Let's make this. Okay, I'll do this tomorrow. It's already almost 8. I have to leave to work. Okay. Tomorrow we'll talk. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, man. Have a good day.
Good day.